What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and in this video we are talking about Tesla, TSLA, the stock. We're going to go over some price predictions, and we're going to go over some interesting things that have taken place in the news over the past couple of days. So if that sounds good to you, hit the like button, subscribe, and let's get into this, okay? First and foremost, just looking at the chart, we're absolutely going to talk about the news first, but just looking at the chart here, you can see Tesla since the 11th of September, it's the 22nd now, has moved up a tremendous amount. We've gone from a price of $352 all the way up here to $442. Crazy, crazy growth in a very short amount of time. Looking like it's not stopping here. There's a couple of big things going on, and I think that the reason why Tesla is increasing in prices, not because Donald Trump and Elon Musk have reconciled their relationship. Maybe they have. Maybe they're just keeping it cordial for the memorial. You know, I'm sure time will tell. I think that they probably have some affection for each other, but does that have anything to do with the price moving up? Who am I to say? I don't know if it has too much to do with it, so much so as Robotaxi, you guys. Robotaxi is being cleared to expand in Arizona, which is pretty cool. Robotaxi here is planning on taking up shop in San Francisco and other places as well. Robotaxi, you guys, clearly at this point in time, it's not just these two areas. That's not the point, but it's the fact that it's ramping up. It's not just in Texas anymore. It's not just in, is it Austin or Dallas? I can't remember. It's not just in these specific places. It's expanding to other places and other countries, I'm pretty sure, as well. They're looking to do it in the UK. So that's why Tesla's stock is going up, because Tesla is going to be a direct competitor. It's not even going to be a competitor. It's not even close. It's going to be the annihilator, the terminator to any kind of business like Uber, right? Waymo is the next best thing, but even that it's not even close. The cost is way higher. Tesla Robotaxi is going to overtake the world, man, and that's why this thing's on the up and up here. $442. I mean, that might be one of the reasons why. There's probably a bunch of other reasons beyond what I've just announced there. But $442 now. 4 hours, 28 minutes left in the day. Let's look at the price action on a short-term basis. We'll come back out to the daily, okay? Looking at this 1 hour time frame here, our RSI looks phenomenal, getting overbought consistently, not getting oversold at all. You were oversold here, a little bit volatile, but that happens sometimes. When you were being volatile, you weren't really doing much. Now that you're seeing these stronger readings more consistently, you are moving up at a solid pace. MACD is crossed green. That's nice. Look at this, guys. The MACD was red. You had bearish indications on your MACD, and all you did was move sideways. Now that you flipped green, one would assume that this is just the beginning of more to come. Stochastics are overbought. It all looks great. 3 hour time frame here, bouncing off the overbought zone. Same thing with the stochastics, and it looks like we are about to cross this back to the upside on the MACD. So all bullish on all fronts. We look at the daily time frame, which is undeniably the most significant time frame we've observed this whole video so far. And the RSI, while it did find some turbulence here, has bounced inside of the overbought zone, which I think is very impressive. Bouncing here, the last time that we did something like that, let's just see, what did we do? It was this day here. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 days of growth. The fourth day was actually a red day, but on that fourth day was the high, where you moved up 17% overall in 4 days. Does that mean that that's what's going to happen here? No. Maybe you move up 24% or 34% or more than that. Who knows? We'll see. Maybe it's less, but probably good things to come. Here, you had a low point right here, right? And then you bounced. It's right there. That was a low point in the RSI. And you bounced, and over the coming days, you moved up 12%. And that was a 1, 2, 3, 4 day endeavor as well, and you moved up 12%. Inevitably, you continue to climb higher. Here, you bounced to the overbought zone. You went from a price at the low to the high of about 31%. And that was probably in the course of like 2 weeks. In about a week, 2 weeks there, actually, it's probably like 3 weeks. In a week, you moved up 31%. Crazy, crazy stuff, man. So from here, doing this, I would assume that while, yes, you're up 3.7% right now, and that's nice, that's lovely, I would think that you have at least a couple more days, if not finishing out this week with some more upside. We're probably going to see you hitting prices at $476 or higher, right? 12% was the minimum that we saw, so $470 or maybe 30% or more. It doesn't all have to happen by the end of this week, but just inevitably, I do believe that Tesla is on its way to new all-time highs, you guys. That's what's happening. I think that's literally what's beginning here, and you can see the pace that we're taking right now. It's very, very bullish stuff. Let's look at some fibs. Let's pull this all-time high to this low here. And I'm not mistaken, right? That is the all-time high. Yeah, that is the all-time high. We take the all-time high to this low here. Not the actual low, but the low of the move. High to low. You're right at the 886, okay? To be completely fair, you could find some turbulence here. It is completely possible. And if you were to find turbulence here, you'd come back down to the 786. That's pretty common with the fibs. However, that kind of disagrees with everything else that we've talked about in this video so far. The 1 hour, the 3 hour looks bullish. We compared notes with the daily time frame and how you typically perform after you bounce in the overbought zone on the RSI. To me, it doesn't make sense to stop here, other than the 886. So probably goes higher, but this is kind of not a reason, but in my opinion, just doing this, it makes me think more so that we're not just going to rip to new all-time highs right away. We probably will stop somewhere around that 460, 480, 490 area, somewhere in there, maybe 470 exactly. Come back down, consolidate, something like that, and then get ready for our move up, right? We're going to consolidate around this all-time high area and then move up. Inevitably, Tesla should be seeing prices at $609, $806. This is our primary target zone, the 1272 to the 1618 right here. That's the primary target box right there. And after we're done consolidating here, once you do break out to new all-time highs, you're not stopping until you're at 609 to 806. Okay, that's very much what I believe is going to happen for Tesla. So with that in mind, looking at these indicators here, man, the stochastics are bullish. The MACD is just starting to build bullish momentum again after today. Phenomenal. I think that things are really shaping up to be quite spectacular over the coming days and over the coming weeks. Everything here looks bullish as hell. You definitely do have more growth to go. I don't think that it stops here, but you're probably going to be at a point soon where you do consolidate for a few weeks, if not even like a month or more. Okay, so I would think that from here, 441, you probably move up to that 460, 490 area. Okay, 470, let's say. Somewhere up around here. Maybe if you see new all-time highs, it'll be slightly newer all-time highs, but something in this area, something right here consistent with your all-time highs here. Consolidate for probably here, you consolidate for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, and then on the 7th week you broke out. Maybe you consolidate for 6 weeks, 3 weeks, 9 weeks, something like that. By the end of the year, you should be pushing on to new all-time highs. I would assume that Tesla, TSLA, is worth more than $600 by the end of this year of 2025, and likely progresses to higher prices going into the beginning parts of 2026. Let's just see how you like to finish out your years typically. Okay. So here, going into the end of the year, you were moving up, nice, seeing a little bit of movement, but a little consolidation there in December. Then January, you actually moved up as well. Going into that first half of the year, you actually saw a spectacular kind of movement there. Going into the end of the year, the next time around, you actually were dumping, but December was a pump. You did pump again in the beginning of the year here. A little bit of a dump going into the end of the year here again. Not so much of a pump at the beginning of the year this time, but you're in a consolidation phase, not really an expansion phase. Here, little pump at the end of the year, pump going into the beginning of the year, little pump at the beginning of the year in January there, but ultimately just consolidating still. Here you were pumping into the end of the year, continue to grow. Here you're pumping, but this is in that full bull phase. Here, not really pumping at the end of the year or in the beginning of the year, but you did pump going into the end. It seems as though, in my opinion, just looking at this, you typically do like to have a little consolidation at some point in the end of the year, whether it's in October, November, December. It seems like you do like to consolidate at some point in those months. But then if you consolidate in October, November, you'll pump in December. If you consolidate in November, December, you'll pump in January. If you're pumping October, November, you're likely going to consolidate in December, right? So you do like to have consolidations and pumps around this year, but depending on what you do, I mean, looking at this here, September growing and going with what I think is going to happen here, I would think that October, November, you probably consolidate. December comes back with a vengeance, and going into January 2026, you should be moving up higher. So I stand by it. I really do believe that by the end of this year of 2025, you're probably going to see $600. And then pushing into January, pushing into 2026, you should see higher prices. I do believe Tesla can reach $1,000. This wouldn't be the first time that it's hit $1,000. They always do a stock split once it hits $1,000. They did it here. They're gonna do. They did it here on this move. They're gonna do it again. I absolutely believe that we have higher prices to achieve in a very short amount of time. but I think that for the time being, $441 now, you probably only move up about $30 to $50 from here before consolidating for about a month, I would say. Just under a month, just over a month. And then in December, I think we'll get a Santa Claus rally. We'll continue to rally up. If I'm wrong, the only way that I would think I'm wrong is that there is no consolidation. We're just going to rally straight through the moon, but I don't think that's what happens. But time will tell. This Robotaxi stuff is pretty big stuff, you guys. It really is, and it could allow for the price to go higher. But at the end of the day, regardless of when we get to where we're going, these are the targets, 607 to 987, something in there, okay? Those are the target areas. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye.